Have you spent your life second guessing your voice, holding back your truth, feeling like if it's not polished or perfect or profound, then you shouldn't speak at all? If your North Node, this symbol right here, is in the third house, your soul came back with a mission to say the thing that was never said and to break the silence that's lived for generations. You don't need a stage. You don't even need a degree. You just need your words spoken with truth in real time. Because, my beautiful one, your voice is not just communication. Your voice is liberation. It's the spell that rewrites everything. Hello, beautiful ones. I'm simply Cindi, and this is the astrology of your becoming. This is a soul-led journey through the chart you didn't just inherit, you chose. Today, we're opening the path of the North Node in the third house, a placement that calls you to speak, share, question, and connect. This is the house of curiosity over certainty, presence over perfection. And if you have this node, your soul came back to clear a mission. Stop preaching from the mountain and start sharing from the street corner. But here's the thing. Every North Node has a counterbalance. You're not here to abandon your South Node, just right here, in the ninth house. You're here to transform it. So let's look at who you've been in other lives and why learning to speak simply, honestly, and freely might just set you free. So let's look at who you've been. And to do that, that's the South Node in the ninth house. Let's begin with the place that feels familiar, maybe too familiar. Your South Node lives in the ninth house. And that means your soul has spent lifetimes searching for truth in big ways, in religion, in philosophy, in education, in travel, in spiritual systems. You've been the preacher, the professor, the pilgrim, the one who always had a code to live by. And here's the thing. When you're tired, feeling overwhelmed, or uncertain, you will almost always retreat into this old pattern. You might feel the need to teach instead of listen, to quote a spiritual principle instead of speaking your honest fear. You might also feel the need to try to explain everything instead of letting the unknown be okay. And while that old wisdom was once your power, it can become your cage now. The more you cling to needing a big truth to feel safe, the more you delay the healing that comes from everyday connection. So you might stay silent because your thoughts feel too small or not polished. Or you might hide behind spiritual language when what's needed is real conversation. You might also feel like your voice doesn't count unless it teaches or transforms. But that belief, it stifles your path. It blocks the flow. Your mission in this lifetime isn't to be the sage on the mountaintop. It's to be the neighbor on the front porch, the one who's willing to speak honestly without certainty, the one who tells stories that matter, the one to ask questions that have no final answer. You don't have to give up your depth to do this. You just have to trust that the truth you share in the moment, is enough. So, what is this placement asking you to become? What is this placement asking of you? Your North Node in the third house is calling you into connection, not the polished, performative kind, but the kind that happens at the kitchen table, the kind that happens in a text message, the kind that happens in your journal, or on a walk with someone you trust. This is the house of honest language, of curiosity without pressure, of voice without performance. You, beautiful one, are being asked to speak even when your voice shakes. It's also asking you to ask questions without needing perfect answers. It's also asking you to share your thoughts even when they're still forming. Maybe it starts with something like, I don't know, but here's what I'm thinking. Or, I've never shared this before, but it's been on my heart. Or even, well, I don't have a lesson, I just have a story. Your words, your real words, are medicine. Do you realize that? Your words are medicine. You have a vibration. You are here to become the spell breaker and the spell weaver. You are here to liberate others from silence simply by refusing to silence yourself. Your voice doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours. Because when you speak truthfully, wow, without even trying to impress or convince, that's where your magic lives. So let me give you something to help anchor this. Let me give you a mantra, okay? I'd like for you to place one hand lightly over your throat, lightly, and the other over your heart. And inhale slowly. And as you exhale, whisper softly, my voice is safe here. Then say out loud, just to yourself if needed, I give myself permission to speak, even if it's messy, even if it's small. Write one sentence today you've never written before. Okay? I'd like for you to write one sentence today that you've never written before. Or better yet, say one thing out loud you've never said. Your truth is alive. And every time you speak it, the path unfolds a little more for you. Okay, so what happens when and if this node is being activated now, right? So by activated, it just means you were born with this point right here in your chart if you're third house north node. It doesn't have to be at 21 degrees. It can be anywhere in this house, okay? But what happens is, as what we call transits, when planets move over it or when they aspect it, which means they're talking to it, there's energy being put here, it's activating this particular point in your chart for a reason. It may be the cycle of life that it's time for you. Okay. So that's what I mean by is it being activated now? Okay. This chart that I'm showing you right now, this is on July 2nd, the day that it's going to be released. And so I just made it to where it was the third house, right? But right now, the actual north node is at this degrees, right? For everybody, it's a different house. It depends on where you live, where you are, all of that stuff. That doesn't matter, okay? Just know when I'm saying activation, that means energy is being put here to have you focus in that area of your life, okay? So things will come up, okay? So if your north node, you were born with your north node in the third house and it's being activated right now by a transit, by a return, or just an awakening, You may notice a stirring in your spirit, right? So maybe your throat begins to feel tight when you want to speak. Like maybe this used to happen a while back and then didn't happen and now it's happening again, right? Or maybe it's happened once or twice before in your life and it's just not, now it's come back, right? Maybe you keep dreaming of conversations. Or maybe you feel the urge to write something, but you stop yourself halfway, right? You might be thinking, is it enough? Will they understand? And who am I to speak this to, right? But here's the truth. The healing doesn't come from being heard. It comes from speaking anyway. The moment is not about performance. It's about practice. Okay? So every time you speak your truth, even if it's soft, awkward, or imperfect, you're reprogramming your nervous system. You're anchoring your soul's path. Okay? So start small. Share your honest thought in a conversation. Or maybe write the sentence you've been avoiding. Or you can even ask the questions or the question you've held back. Your voice is not noise. I hope you understand this, that your voice is not noise. It's a frequency shift. Every time you use it, you come home to yourself and you are breaking the spell. Okay? Okay, since I've kind of said what a transit is, I don't want you to go too deep into it. You don't need to know everything, right, about this. You just need to know how it applies to you. Okay? So, it's really important as planets come, that's you're going to have these things come up. But when Mercury comes through, and this is Mercury, this is what Mercury looks like when Mercury comes through. So if Mercury comes into this house and then it retrogrades, right? Or even if it just transits and goes through, you're going to have those issues at this time. And the other thing too is if Mercury goes over here, because it opposes it, right? You're going to have these types of issues. If it's opposing your south node, especially Mercury, but when any planet does. So if any planet comes here or any planet goes here, it's going to activate you. But there's a special note when it's Mercury, because Mercury is the communication. He's the ruler of communication. He is the ruler of processing and telling your truth, right? So during these times, you may feel this even more strongly during a Mercury retrograde. So let's just say Mercury was over here and then he begins to retrograde, right? Or when he transits your north node in the third house, or when he opposes your south node in the ninth house, okay? During these times, there's going to be miscommunications. They may arise, right? You may feel unheard or overly cautious about what you're saying, right? Don't let that silence you. This is really important. That's why I'm going deeper into this, because this is important for you and your path and your transmuting and healing this part of you. These are invitations to slow down. Okay? These are invitations. It's not, the universe is not against you. Okay? Your natal node is not, your natal chart is not against you. Okay? I want you to look at these times as these are invitations for you to slow down. This is where you get to refine your truth. This is where you get to reclaim your voice. This is where you get to practice. Okay? So, let me give you some steps to take or some remedies for real world happenings, integrations, right? So, I'd like for you, and you can take all of these or one of these or none of these. I'm just giving you the information. It is your path. It is up to you. Okay? So, during these times or as you're healing this, as you're looking more into this, write one paragraph a day that begins with what I really want to say is, okay? And then complete that. You can also record a 1-minute voice memo without editing. Just speak what's real. Don't worry about how you're going to say what you're going to say. Just speak. Just speak what's real. Speak your truth. Okay? It's just a voice memo. Okay? Another thing is to say something to someone you've never said before. That is really healing, very healing. Okay? Another one is to light a blue candle while journaling or sip some herbal tea for your throat chakra, right? Let your words move, not just live in your mind. There's so much that lives in our mind that are words that we don't speak. Speak it, say it. You don't have to say it to anybody, just say it. Why do you think we call spells spells? They're spelling. Say it, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Now, if you hear nothing else in this video, please pay attention to this. This is very important for you. Not for me, for you. Okay? Your voice is not just allowed, it's essential. You are the oracle of the ordinary, of morning thoughts and quiet conversations, of sidewalk moments and kitchen table truths. Because the sacred doesn't only speak through thunder, sometimes it speaks through you in a sentence, in a story, in your real imperfect voice. And when you speak honestly, gently, bravely, you don't just inform, you transform. Every sentence you share is a spell of liberation. And I mean that. Every sentence you share is a spell of liberation. Every story is a doorway home. So this part too is very important for you. If all the other videos that I do, this part is essential for you. Okay. So I want you to tell me in the comments, what have you been holding in? And what are you ready to say out loud? Okay. Now, subscribe if this path of becoming speaks to your soul, and come back next week for more astrology that doesn't just describe you, it awakens you. And I'll leave you with this last thing. Speak softly, speak fiercely, speak like it matters. Because guess what, beautiful one? It does.